Is it tough to stay in character during Jay and Silent Bob?
The podcast it's kind of an intervention podcast. We sit around every week, make sure this dude's not using heroin or Oxycontin and shit like that, like we used to. So when I hear those stories, like we've done 120, 150 episodes or something like that, toured around the world with it, just came back from the UK and Ireland, sold out our tour there as well. And those stories are amazing. What I do in the movies is take little snapshots of our life and try to blow those up and make them kind of funny. But when he sits down and just starts telling the real story of his life, like he's absolutely hysterical. He's a total raconteur of stuff. But it's the shit that happens to him on a regular basis, man. Tell me the fucking plane story with the dude with the bag overhead.
So you know, when I mean, usually they make an announcement too. I think that's what made it even worse. But I had.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tale of social injustice so dark. You won't understand how a human being can rise above this very sad incident that's about to be described. Let me just tell you, this is the biggest first world problem fucking life. Go ahead.
But it was one of those things that got me really upset. So I'll explain. Is we had, I always bring my backpack, and then I bring a roller on the plane, and they usually say put your backpack or computer bag under the seat, make room for the rollers up top. And so we get on a little bit later, my wife and I, and all the upper things are full. And I see there's like a computer bag and a backpack. And my wife has this, Louis Vuitton bag. It's pretty big, and it can't go under the seat. So I'm like, sir, do you think it's a cruise bag? He says, I don't want to touch it. And the guy, like, sitting right here, I'm so my mouth, he's like, right here. He's like, oh, it's mine. I'm like, oh, it's a computer bag. I said, do you think you can put that under your seat? And he just stares at me, and I'm like, I have this big bag. I put this under my seat, but I can't. And he's like staring at me for a minute, and then he's like, no. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, why not though? I was like, can you just move this, put it under the seat, and I just can put this there, or I can try to squeeze it, but I don't know what's in there. I don't want to break anything. And he's like, no. He's like, why am I going to move the bag? I'm like, well, you're supposed to. I mean, they usually make announcements, and they haven't made it yet, but you're supposed to. And I started getting so upset. And then what really aggravated me is he was like, why should I not have any feet room? Like, why should I have no room to put my feet? And I'm like, dude, the bag won't even take up room. Like, you slide it to the side. And so he just was like, no. And then I was going to move it. And then I started getting really, really heated. He just stared at me. I'm like, dude, can I please put this bag up there? And he just was like, no. And I was like, you're a fucking piece of shit! And I got so mad, and then the woman, flight attendant comes over, and she's like, what's going on? Why are you cursing? I'm like, you're right, I shouldn't have cursed. You should have been like, I curse for a living. I do feel bad that I called him a piece of shit, but I was so...
Don't feel bad. That's the beauty of that story, man. So few people in life, everyone feels that way, but you're the only person post 9/11 on an airplane. Stand up to a piece of shit and be like, you piece of shit.
It's almost like one of those things where, like, if you have like one of those carts filled with luggage and you're trying to get on the tram to go. This just happened to me. I didn't yell at anyone, and you're waiting for everyone to come off. Like, you're coming off of the tram, and they're supposed to wait for you to come off an elevator or off a tram, and people are trying to rush in by you, and like they're bumping in your bag, and you can't get out, and the doors are about to shut. That actually almost just happened, where I got shut in because
you can tell it almost just happened because the detail was so vivid.
I was saying, it was frustrating. It was one of those situations again. These are little first world problems that I get upset about. Like, well, wait, can you wait for me to get off? Those are the rules.